What is high-powered money? One word, currency. Currency held by the public and commercial banks. High-powered money refers to currency held by the public and commercial banks. And it consists of currency held by the public, then currency held by commercial banks, then currency deposits of commercial banks with the central bank, deposits of commercial banks with the central bank, and we call it even statutory reserve. Statutory reserve. That is a legal requirement of the commercial banks to keep some of their currency with the central bank. And then deposits of government agencies with the central bank. Currency deposits of government agencies. At present there is no value, so I did not include it here, but it is also a component of high-powered money. And then the next area we have to study is how this high-powered money injected. How is high-powered money injected into the economy? How is reserve money injected into the economy? There are two methods. One is credit to the government and commercial banks. Central bank granting loans, providing credit to the government and commercial banks. The other method is purchase of foreign currency. Central bank purchasing foreign currency. So these are the two methods of injecting high-powered money into the economy. Then we have to identify the determinants of high-powered money or reserve money. Determinants, the factors that affect the stock of high-powered money in a country. Right? To understand that, we have to again study how this high-powered money injected into the economy. As I said, there are two methods. One is providing credit to the government or commercial banks by purchasing securities. Central bank purchases securities and provide loans. Right? And the other method is purchase of foreign currency. Right? Central bank purchases foreign currency from the government and the commercial banks. Central bank absorbs foreign currency and injects national currency. National currency is the high-powered money. Right? National currency is high-powered money. So in this case, when central bank provides loans to the government, we call it net credit to the government. Net credit. That means credit granted minus repayments. Net credit to the government. Right? And the other one is credit to commercial banks. Credit to commercial banks, central bank granting loans to commercial banks as a lender of last resort, as the bank of the government and the commercial banks. Central bank grant loans to the government and the commercial banks. Then in this process, the loans granted to the government and the commercial banks, right, are the assets of the central bank, because the government and the commercial banks have to repay these loans to the central bank again. Central bank has to recover it. Central bank has to take it back. Therefore, these loans granted or credit granted to the government and the commercial banks refers or represents the assets of the central bank. Right? The credit granted to the government and commercial banks represents the assets of the central bank, because central bank has to take it back. Then the amount of high-powered money injected, into the economy, into the government and the commercial banks, represents the liabilities of the central bank, because the national currency or the high-powered money is going out of the central bank. It is going out. It's a decreasing asset, or you can call it's a liability. So this is how we take it in the central bank balance sheet, liabilities of the central bank. So you can see the assets are the determinants of high-powered money, and high-powered money itself is the liabilities of the central bank. Why is that? Because this amount of high-powered money is determined by the amount of loans granted by the central bank. Higher the amount of loans granted by the central bank, higher the stock of high-powered money. So these two are determinants of high-powered money. What are they? Net credit to the government and credit to commercial banks. These are known as net domestic assets of the central bank. These are the net domestic assets of the central bank. Then the other one is purchase of foreign currency. Central bank purchases foreign currency and injects national currency. National currency is the amount of high-powered money, right? So in that case, net foreign assets received by the central bank, right, are the assets of the central bank, because central bank takes it and central bank keeps it. They are the assets of the central bank. We call it net foreign assets of the central bank. Then in this process, central bank purchases foreign assets, foreign currency, and injects national currency, which is the high-powered money. So while net foreign assets are the assets of the central bank, again high-powered money which is going out of the central bank is the refers or represents the liabilities of the central bank. Right? In both cases, high-powered money represents the liabilities of central bank, while net credit to the government and credit to commercial banks, these are the domestic assets, and these are the foreign assets of the central bank. Right. So therefore, the amount of, based on the amount of foreign currency, purchased by the central bank, the amount of high-powered money will be determined. So these are the determinants of high-powered money. So in the central bank balance sheet, the assets of the central bank, in the central bank balance sheet, assets of the central bank are the determinants of high-powered money, while high-powered money itself represents the liabilities of the central bank. What are they? So what are the liabilities of central bank? As we said earlier, currency held by the public, currency held by commercial banks, currency deposits of commercial banks with the central bank again, then the currency deposits of government agencies with the central bank. Then we have to talk about whether the central bank has full control over the stock of high-powered money in the economy. Does the central bank have full control over high-powered money? Of course, central bank is the sole authority which injects high-powered money into the economy. It has the control. It has to have the control, but it does not have the full control. Right? Why? Again, because of the way high-powered money is injected into the economy. One is providing loans to the government and commercial banks. The other one is purchasing foreign currency. Right? Then, under a situation where the government expenditure overruns, actually that is exactly what is happening in Sri Lanka's budget. Right? Government expenditure is greater than the total revenue of the government. So there will be a budget deficit under that circumstance. On that circumstance, there will be budget deficit. Right? Then to finance the budget deficit, the government has to finally depend on the central bank. Right? The central bank has to print money and provide loans to the government, because that is a function of the central bank as well. Central bank, that is one major function of central bank is to act as the bank of the government. So in that case, even though central bank wants to have some control some limitation of the amount of high-powered money in the economy, central bank does not have any other option but to lend the government. So as a result, that is called net credit to the government. So as a result, it will affect the central bank objective of controlling price stability, right? So you know, when there is a excessive amount of money in the economy, there can be an inflationary pressure. So even with that inflationary pressure, if the government is having a budget deficit and the central bank wants to control the stock of high-powered money, it will not be able to do that. So this is one reason why central bank does not have full control over high-powered money. Another reason is related to the foreign exchange market. Right? To maintain the stability in the foreign exchange market, sometimes central bank has to inject foreign currency, right, by absorbing the national currency. That is when our currency is depreciating rapidly severely in the foreign exchange market. Depreciate. That is exactly what is happening right now. Our currency is depreciating. Right? That means the value of our currency in terms of other currencies is going down. That is because of that is because of deficiency in the stock of foreign currency within the foreign exchange market. Lack of foreign currency. So there's a deficiency in foreign currency. Then the central bank has to provide sufficient amount of foreign currency to the foreign exchange market to maintain the value of our currency, right? Then what central bank does is to inject foreign currency and absorb national currency. That means high-powered money. High-powered money comes into the central bank. that will cause a deficiency in national currency within the economy. That is also a problem. Central bank doesn't want to have a deficiency in national currency or the high-powered money within the economy, because that causes a contraction in the economy. That causes a contraction in the economy, right? Because central bank inject foreign currency by absorbing national currency. So there will be deficiency in national currency within the economy. So you can see central bank doesn't want to see this. Central bank wants to have sufficient amount of currency within the economy, depending on the situation in the country, in the economy. So therefore, you can argue because of these two reasons, central bank does not have full control, perfect control over the stock of high-powered money in the economy. Then the other area we have to address is the impact on money supply. How high-powered money impacts the money supply. Of course, money supply is dependent on the stock of high-powered money and the money multiplier. Right? The stock of high-powered money and money multiplier. Right? When the central bank injects high-powered money into the economy, money supply will increase in a multiple amount, large amount. That is because of the credit creation of commercial banks. Based on the stock of reserve money or high-powered money, commercial banks grant loans by creating deposits. By creating deposits means money supply increases, because deposits are also part of money supply, and it happens in a large amount, multiple amounts. That is explained with the money multiplier. There are anyway limitations to that. That is the statutory reserve ratio and excess currency reserve ratio and public desire to hold currency. I will talk about these limitations later on with the credit creation process. Right? Subject to these limitations, based on this high-powered money stock, reserve money stock, commercial banks will create credit and the deposits. That is the creation of money. So because of that, that is represented by money multiplier. And because of that, what will happen? This high-powered money will be multiplied by a multiple amount, and the largest stock of money supply will be created in the economy. So that is the impact of high powered money on the money supply. So you can say money multiplier is the ratio between money supply and high powered money. We can further analyze it. Money supply equals high powered money into money multiplier. These are the two major determinants of money supply, high powered money and money multiplier. Then you can use this equation to identify the equation for money multiplier. So what is the equation for money multiplier? Right? This money multiplier remains here and this comes to the other side and become division. Right? This multiplication comes to the other side and become division. So you can say money multiplier equals money supply divided by high powered money. Right? You can see that this comes here then it becomes division. So money supply divided by high powered money equals money multiplier. Then again, what are the components in money supply? We call it broad money supply. What are the components in broad money supply? There are three components in broad money supply. Currency held by the public, then currency held by the public, then demand deposits held by the public in commercial banks, and time and saving deposits held by the public in commercial banks. You can call them total deposits. Total deposits held by the public in commercial banks and currency held by the public. So these are the components of money supply, broad money supply. Then what are the components of high powered money? As we learned earlier, currency held by the public. Then currency deposits of commercial bank with the central bank. We call it statutory reserve. Statutory reserve, it's a legal requirement, statutory, legal. Right? Then currency held by the commercial bank. That is the excess reserve. Excess currency reserve of the commercial bank. Right? Commercial banks. Currency held by the commercial banks. Then we can further develop this equation. We can express all these things in terms of total deposits as a percentage of total deposits. Right? The stock of currency can be expressed as a percentage of total deposits. We call it CTD. And this is of course total deposits. Then again, currency again, CTD. The statutory reserve can be expressed as the statutory reserve ratio. It is also percentage of total deposits. Then excess currency also can also be expressed in terms of total deposits as a percentage of total deposits. So then you can see total deposits is the common factor there. Right? Total deposit is the common factor everywhere. Then when you cut it off, total deposits, mathematically you can do that. What is left is C plus 1 divided by C plus R plus E. C plus 1 divided by C plus R plus E is another equation for money multiplier. So there are two equations for money multiplier. One is money supply divided by high powered money. The other one is these ratios. Public currency deposit ratio plus 1. Again public currency deposit ratio plus statutory reserve ratio plus excess currency reserve ratio. Right? And these two equations are very useful to calculate the money multiplier and the resulting expansion in money supply due to injection of high powered money into the economy. Actually this was tested in 2020 paper for 4 marks. Right? With these two equations you can simply find the answer for that question. Right. So this is the lesson today. Thank you very much for listening. Next time I will talk about credit creation. So I will only discuss the hardest lessons in our syllabus. So I hope you watch and listen the same video several times, and then you will automatically be familiar with this knowledge. This is a great opportunity for you. So please subscribe my channel, and then even click the bell icon. Then when I put more video, when I publish more videos, then you will be able to watch them. Thank you very much.